What's going on, everybody? My name is Walter Hooper, and I am the host for a brand new podcast series / segment. This segment is entitled Talking with Hawkins, and let me tell you something. Alex Hawkins is an individual that is in the running currently to be part of the House District 55 here in the great state of Michigan, the Mitten, yes. And I am thrilled, and it is a privilege to have Sir Alex of Hawkins here today in the Not Podcast Studios with us and joining us for the very first time and for our very first episode of this mini-series, Talking with Hawkins, is the one and only Alex Hawkins. What's going on, man? How are you?
Not much. This place is awesome. I mean, I really appreciate you having me out and getting a chance to look at the Not Studio and your great setup, and I'm just really excited to chat with you today.
Well, I'm excited to have you here, and we're glad to be hosting for you, and yeah, it's good to see you. So let's get right into it. Tell me about yourself and, well, tell me about your family.
Yeah, so I grew up in Oakland County, went to elementary school, middle school, high school, public schools, which is, I'm the product of a public school system, which I love to tell people because it really, it changed my life. After high school, I enlisted in the U.S. Army as a explosive ordnance disposal technician. So I was a bomb tech. I did that for about 5 years on active duty, traveled to the Middle East, traveled to Africa. Shortly after that, I decided to commission in the National Guard. And so I've been in 9 years, did that, got back. After I got off active duty, I interned for U.S. Senator Gary Peters for about 6 months, got to learn and kind of figure out while I was finishing up my degree what I wanted to do. Came back, I deployed after that, came back and had a job at a local firm in Southfield, kind of trying out a business type job. Wasn't really my style, so I got a job with Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin and had a chance to work on her staff for the last year and a half. Decided to separate from that job to run for this. I'm married. I have a wife who's currently in medical school, and I have a dog named Luna.
Well, that is awesome. Look at that. Just a very wide range of experiences and very well-rounded individual. A lot of unique traits and aspects, which leads me right into my next question here. What makes you unique as an individual?
I would have to say being a bomb tech. Being an explosive ordnance disposal technician is not a job that most people choose. I know that my wife and my mom weren't big fans when I decided to pick that job, but it's either my problem or immediately it's not. So I have that job. I also am a local community choir leader. I'm the president of a 501c3 nonprofit community choir. I still work in the theaters at Kettering and Mott, helping out my old mentor, setting lights, doing sound. So I do a lot of very strange, random things that I think make me more unique than others.
Wow, yeah, that is, from a bomb tech to a choir, that's pretty cool. Well, first, let me also say here too, thank you for your service to our country.
Thank you.
I do have a couple of buddies of mine that served in the armed forces and even went overseas. So I know I couldn't do it. So I appreciate the sacrifice and all that you guys have done. So, and going off of that, what would you say from the military? What was your biggest takeaway from the service to now your everyday life?
I would have to say one of the biggest takeaways I've learned from my almost decade in the military is if you take care of your people will take care of you. So as an enlisted soldier, I had incredible leaders. I had some not so great leaders, but if you take care of your people, they'll take care of you. Did we want to stay till 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, or do different things if we had to? No. But when you have that good leadership, you do it because they ask you to, and you know that they have your back. And now that I'm on the officer side, as long as I take care of my people, I know my people will take care of me. And having a chance to now that I'm a little bit older and I've had a chance to kind of sit back and internalize that, it's very similar to politics. If you take care of your constituents and you work for your constituents will help you. They will elect you. They'll keep you elected, and they will continue to feed you the information you need and tell you the issues that they have and allow you to work for them and fight for them.
Excellent. Yeah, I think that's a great takeaway. I mean, and again, God, the segues are so just smooth as butter here. Your constituents, the voters, House District 55, Rochester, being in the Rochester area, there are so many amazing establishments. There's so many great hangout spots, things to do, whether it's with friends, family, just a great community. So, for you, what are some of your favorite spots and hangouts that you like to enjoy in the city of Rochester?
Well, having great transitions is always good. One of these is going to catch us up. It's gotta. Growing up and being able to go see the Christmas lights, right? Getting that warm, fuzzy feeling, driving down Main Street, looking at all the lights, far before I could drive, remembering that. I volunteered at local events since I was a kid in Rochester, like Arts and Apples. It's a giant art festival that they do, and I remember walking around and checking out the exhibits. I was a Civil Air Patrol cadet, so they would have us stay overnight, and we would walk around to make sure that no bad guys came in and messed anything up. But as a cadet, you get to walk around the park and be, helpful to the artists that feel that they can leave their stuff safely. My wife and I used to do that as cadets before we were married. Yates Donuts are the best donuts in Southeast Michigan, the best cider mill, right? And my wife, she always studies at Bakehouse 46 downtown, and you can get Yates cider, hot cider, and donuts there. So every once in a while, I'll stop in if my wife's studying because she's in medical school, and I'll grab a donut, say hi, and head out. But those are some of my top favorite memories and things in Rochester.
Right on. Excellent. And so you mentioned also too, helping out the artists and making sure that they're in good hands and that their work is also safe. So again, transitions here, people. Serving and being a servant for the community. What makes you passionate about serving others in the community?
I think that's a good question. I think a lot of my drive for service comes from my experiences, the leaders that I've had. So from my fourth grade teacher, who I'm still friends with on Facebook, to my middle school teachers who I started a community choir with, to my high school teachers that came to my kickoff, all of these people in the public school system that built me, believed in me, and gave me the opportunity to succeed. Whether I was, the best academically or not, or whether I was always a good student for them or not, they were always good to me. And growing up, my family has always fought for democratic values. My family has been involved in unions. Our entire family, as far as I can find, they've been involved in unions. And having that kind of those values that you're built with, that your family's built with, and having people who believe in you, and mentors, and Civil Air Patrol mentors, and local law enforcement mentors, and people that I'm still very close with, all of that coming together kind of has given me the passion to serve others.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like there's just, again, a very well-rounded foundation that was set. And so, which, again, now leads into your interest in politics. So what got you the most interest? What got you interested in politics?
So I think it would probably have to be my grandfather. So my grandfather grew up in Farmington, went to Eastern Michigan, got drafted in Vietnam. He commissioned as an officer, went over to Vietnam, and got injured during the Tet Offensive. He was paralyzed from the waist down, came back to Michigan, did his recovery, and decided to attend law school. So he went to Wayne State University and was the first paraplegic to graduate with a law degree, moved down to Florida, and started lobbying for disability organizations. He did that for a number of years, ran for the Florida State House, was a Florida State rep for 10 years, was a Miami-Dade County commissioner, and worked on some really pivotal, really important policy like family medical leave, which was pioneered, for the first municipality in South Florida. The Jackson Memorial Hospital system in Florida is a public health trust, which I had to learn about, right? Because we don't have those here in Michigan, but having a public health system where people can go and know their costs, and it's subsidized by the government, allows anybody to receive the care that they need. And growing up watching that and being told you have very large shoes to fill from your grandfather, and knowing the great work that he did and working on the American Disabilities Act and doing those kinds of things were pivotal.
Yeah, and it sounds like you have such a wonderful example to go off of, and those shoes to fill. You're already. It sounds like you've already taken the initiative. You've already got the gumption to just want to continue that legacy, and I think you'd be proud of you, man.
Thank you.
So, getting into politics and all that, it does come with its challenges, and it does come with it's not an easy road. So for you, what would you say is one of the biggest challenges you're facing right now with campaigning, with the campaign?
Campaigns have a lot of various challenges, as does anything, but I'd say one of the biggest challenges is the mental toll that it takes. You have to be on all the time. You have to go to events. You have to talk to people. It weighs on your marriage. It weighs on your social life. Fortunately, like I said, I've mentioned before, my wife, very proud of her, is in medical school. And so she's very busy with her own thing. We don't have any children yet. We have a dog, like I said, named Luna. But still trying to balance her school with my events and my door knocking and all the things I have to do. It takes a toll. And, whether you believe it or not, when you start the campaign, they say it's going to consume your life. And you're like, oh, sure, right? Just like anything does. But it really does. And being resilient and having the ability to bounce back. And if people say mean things, or if you go to knock on their door and they just wave you off and don't even open it, you just brush that off your shoulder and all right, on to the next one. And having that resilience and the ability to just keep driving on no matter what is what you have to do to win the campaign and to get elected.
Yeah, I like that word resilience, because I don't think that's thrown around often enough when you really think about going down that route, because everyone's like, oh, I could run for politics or whatever. I know I couldn't. I don't have that. It's I just
sure
you don't
you could.
you don't want me. But it's that resilience. It's that being able to take some what's the word I'm looking for? Some metaphorical punches, and just being able to, like you said, brush that off and, keep going and keep walking and, just keep your head held high. And yeah, it's resilience, people.
Yeah,
so,
well, I mean, that's something that the Army really beats into soldiers. And anybody that watches this, anybody in the military, anybody in my unit, everyone's going to say, they're going to roll their eyes, resilience, because the Army beats it into you. But, when you are a bomb tech, or when you are in any of these super high stress jobs, you have to be able to bounce back, and you have to be able to, no matter what is happening around you, be able to drive on. And that is something that has been beaten and instilled into me in a level that, people outside the armed forces just may not have had yet.
Yeah. And I think that's a very valid point there. It's discipline. It's discipline and resilience. So, and I can see you got it. So,
thank you.
So let's go back to let's wind the clock back a bit here, and let's talk about the past. And for you, what was one of your favorite childhood memories that still resonates with you today?
See, perfect with flow. That's easy. Growing up, with my grandfather and seeing all the things that he did, I had a chance to go to the White House in the early 90s as a little kid. My grandfather, my sister, my great aunt. And we went to the White House during a address to the nation that President Clinton was doing in the Oval Office, and I got to go and sit on the presidential seal on the carpet in the Oval Office. When President Clinton came in, I got to shake his hand. Got to shake his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I think that was one of the most pivotal moments in my early childhood that I can remember, because I wasn't supposed to be in there. They were afraid I was going to be loud, a loud, destructive little kid. But my grandfather had to ask, call President Clinton and said, yeah, no, he's fine. But having the chance to do that, and then having that picture, the picture sit in my grandpa's house or in my mom's house, or growing up, now in my house, I have the picture and I see it all the time. that wasn't something that most people get to do. Not even just most kids, but most people get a chance to do. And growing up, realizing how privileged I was to have that experience, and being able to recognize it is really, what makes it one of my favorite childhood memories. And later on in life, as an Army bomb tech, I had a chance to work at the White House as the on-call explosive ordnance disposal team. So I got to go through the White House. I worked there 24 hours on, 48 hours off. And we got a chance to walk through the White House. We got a chance to pass the Secretary of the Treasury walking by us in the East Wing. We got to see Secretary of Defense Mattis walking into the West Wing, or the Vice President. We got a chance to live that history. And every day that I was there, I was reminded of those memories of being a little kid.
Wow. Yeah, not very many individuals can say that, hey, I just got to chill at the White House and, I spent some time there. It's all good.
It's unique.
Yeah, it's very unique. Again, what makes them, that's another one of the things that makes them unique. So, yeah, that's impressive, man. So now to one of the last questions I have here for you is House District 55 of Michigan. What can you tell me in the audience about that? What does all of that entail, and what's the mission?
What is the mission of House District 55, the best district in Michigan? My mission is to represent all constituents. I want to make sure that not just the constituents on my side, right, the Dems or the independents, but that I can reach across the aisle and I can understand where all of the constituents are coming from, because you don't just work for just the people that voted for you. When you get elected, you work for everybody in your district. It's really important to me that we continue to improve our schools. Last year, the Democratic trifecta made sure that our schools got more funding, and we're going to continue that. We're going to make sure that Rochester Public Schools, one of the most renowned school districts in the state and in the nation, continues to receive the funding that they need to be effective teachers, to be effective coaches, to have school programs, and make sure that our students, whether they go to college or not, are ready for the real world. Green spaces in Rochester, which, everyone that lives in Rochester or goes to Rochester knows how many green spaces they have, and they know how important they are to people. We need to work on making sure that those green spaces in the environment is taken care of. Rochester is a very safe community. You can, I know so many people that live down there that don't lock their doors. They park their car, street parking, they don't lock it. The Rochester Police Department, the Oakland County Sheriff's Department, they do an incredible job. I'm a reserve sheriff's deputy for Oakland County myself, and Rochester Hills is my substation. So I have a chance to work with the Rochester, people as a reserve sheriff's deputy, and get a chance to kind of see Rochester from another viewpoint. And sure, there's crime that happens everywhere, but Rochester is a very safe community because of how well the police departments and sheriff's department work with the residents. Rochester Fire and Rochester Hills Fire Department, they are incredible. Those municipal services are great, and people love it, and people know it. The parks and trails, the Clinton River Trail, Paint Creek Trail, no matter what, the weather starts to turn a little bit and there's not snow on the trail, people are out there running. They're riding their bikes. And we need to make sure that we continue to protect that and expand that so that more and more people can come to the community to use those amenities and natural resources. Rochester is such an outdoor community, and it's so important to them, so we have to make sure that we can secure that. And yeah, I think that's the mission, and I think that I am going to execute it well.
Well, I mean, yeah, you sounds like you got a plan put in place. You have a direct goals and objectives, plural. And so yeah, that's awesome, man. And good luck, man.
Thank you.
And final point here before we log off of the first edition and first episode of Talking with Hawkins. Most importantly, Alex, how can individuals reach out to you if they want to ask questions, if they want more information about who you are, the campaign, how maybe some people can help or volunteer for the campaign? Where can people find you? You have a website, phone number, email, social media. Now's the time to plug all of those things.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a campaign phone number. It's 248-266 8025. And anybody that has any questions, comments, concerns can call that phone number, and I will get back to them, and I will answer their questions. We have the website, which is alexhawkinsformichigan.com. You can go to that website. You can see some of the information. There's a contact us form. If you don't want to call, you can fill that out. We have 2 social media sites. We have Facebook and Instagram, which are facebook.com/Alex Hawkins for Michigan and Instagram.com/Alex Hawkins for Michigan. Go onto the social sites. Give the page a look. See what we've been doing. We post often on all the things that are going on. Be sure to like. You can't subscribe, but you can like the page. You can like the photos, the information, and just if anyone's interested in volunteering and in making sure that we flip the district and making sure that the local candidate like myself is able to get to win the primary and flip that district, we need people to volunteer. You know, it's really easy to complain about politics and be distanced from it. So we need everyone that we can to come out, knock doors, come help at events, pass out Frisbees, all the little things. We want to make sure that we take care of our volunteers and make sure that they are taken care of, because if you take care of your people, they'll take care of you.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. You reach out to Alex. He's more than happy to chat with you, connect with you, and answer any and all questions you have regarding House District 55 in the community of Rochester. I know I have personal ties with Rochester. I went to college there at Oakland University. Go Golden Grizzlies.
Go Grizzlies.
That's right, baby. I'm very familiar with Rochester. It is a beautiful area, and man, best of luck. And this has been the first installation of Talking with Hawkins, and I'm Walter Hooper, your host for the program, and we are signing out here from the Knott Studios, and we will catch you on the next episode. Have a good one, everybody.